You ever have one of those mornings where the world feels steady? Just the bleating of goats, a little mist over the field, nothing on your mind but hot coffee and whatever chores the day brings. Only to watch that peace explode into absolute chaos before you can finish your first cup? Yeah, that happened to me. One minute I'm standing on my porch, mug in hand, thinking about fence repairs and hay bales, and the next, boom, 10 gigantic charter buses grind to a stop at my front gate, engines rumbling like a herd of stampeding buffalo. Doors swing open, and suddenly it's a full-on invasion. Hundreds of strangers spill out, coolers, lawn chairs, beach balls, loudspeakers, you name it, filling my pasture like they'd just bought tickets to the county fair. And leading the parade, dressed in a hot pink blazer with a clipboard and a megaphone, is Karen, the HOA president who'd been pestering me for months about joining the community. Let me back up a sec. My property has never been part of any HOA, never signed their paperwork, never paid a dime, and I had no intention of letting them draw a single line over my land. But there she was, announcing the HOA Mega Summer Festival on my field, under a banner with my name on it, as if I'd volunteered to host. You know what I mean? There's a special kind of fury that comes from watching someone try to claim what's yours, right in front of your eyes, with a smile on their face and a crowd at their back. Karen had tried every trick in the book: phony letters, complaints about my barn paint, bogus citations about goats, and unauthorized vehicles, all just thinly disguised power plays to force me under her rules. She dropped festival flyers in neighborhood mailboxes with cheerful maps labeling my land as community space. I guess she figured, if she acted confident enough, I'd just roll over and play along. She didn't know I'd been quietly preparing. Steel gate reinforced, cameras rolling. Remote lock ready on my phone, because I had a feeling she'd try something bold. I didn't expect this bold. 10 buses, hundreds of witnesses, and Karen grandstanding in front of the whole town. So I slip on my boots, stroll off the porch, and head down the gravel drive, coffee cooling in my hand, heart weirdly calm. The festival crowd is everywhere, folding tables snapping open, grills firing up, teenagers stringing up banners between my oak trees. One of my goats darts away from a pack of kids chasing it with a juice box. Karen's up on her little stage, bellowing into her megaphone about reclaiming community space from selfishness. Selfishness. Like I was the bad guy for not handing her my field. Some people wave at me, clueless, but others look away. Maybe they're starting to realize they've been duped. And then, right on cue, I spot Tom, the zoning clerk, tucked into a folding chair near the edge of the crowd, looking deeply uncomfortable. He gives me a tiny nod as I walk past. She lied, he mutters. This isn't public land. At exactly 9, I tap the button on my phone. The gates swing shut with a satisfying, echoing clang. The red keypad light blinks. Suddenly, that community festival feels a lot more like a hostage situation. Confusion ripples through the crowd. Parents glance at the gate, bus drivers look at each other, and Karen, well, her face drains when she realizes she's just locked herself in with 500 witnesses. I lean against a fence post and call out, "You're all trespassing." 10 buses worth of uninvited guests on private land. You could hear a pin drop, then the murmurs start. Karen tries to shout me down, blustering about community rights and how no gate can stop us. But the panic's already setting in. One of the bus drivers sidles over, whispers, "We thought this was public. We were just hired." I tell him, "Park tight. Nobody leaves till the sheriff sorts this out." He backs away, nervous as a cat. Teenagers start filming, a few people gather up their things, and a kid shouts, "This is going viral, dude." All the while, Karen is fuming, trying to rally her troops. But the cracks are showing. Her voice is shrill, her hands shake. Even her supporters look uneasy. It only takes a few minutes for the spectacle to unravel. Someone tries to batter the gate with a picnic bench, but it doesn't budge. Contractor built it for livestock, not HOA drama. A mom yells about the promised bounce house and catering that never materialized. A man waves the glossy flyer at Karen. "You lied to us." Karen's still swinging her clipboard around, barking through the megaphone, but her words bounce off the rising tide of complaints and the relentless whir of cell phone cameras capturing every second. The zoning clerk stands up, raises his voice for everyone to hear. She knew this was private. I warned her. That's the final blow. Loyalty evaporates. Right then, the distant wail of sirens cuts through the chaos, and the crowd shifts from restless to outright panicked. Karen tries to stage one last stand, shrieking for the sheriff to arrest the land thief. But Sheriff Patterson, sunglasses glinting, just asks, "Ma'am, why are you and all these people on his land?" Karen fumbles, can't produce a deed, can't even keep her story straight. I hand over the paperwork. Title, survey maps. Even the county's own letters confirming I'm not under HOA jurisdiction. The sheriff flips through, nods, and turns to Karen. "That's trespassing," he says, matter of fact. "And if you took money for this, it's fraud." From there, it's over fast. Deputies direct everyone back to the buses. News crews film Karen's meltdown in full HD as angry. Parents demand refunds, and kids chant, "Bus Karen," under their breath. Karen tries to lunge at me, spitting that I've humiliated her, but all I say is, "No. Karen, you humiliated yourself." I just lock the gate. The buses roll out one by one, engines groaning, and when the last tail light disappears down the road, all that's left is a field littered with trash, a shell-shocked HOA president, and the echo of the sheriff's simple question. But you know how it goes. People like Karen don't just vanish when they lose. The next morning, a cease and desist shows up in my mailbox, threatening lawsuits for unlawful detention and emotional distress. That same day, Karen's on TV in a navy dress, crying about traumatized families. My lawyer, Lena, sharp as a tack, tells me, "Let her dig. Every lie's another brick in our case." And sure enough, the drama keeps spiraling. Emails leak, board members turn on her, anonymous apologies come in from neighbors, and a former HOA officer even drops off a USB drive full of evidence. Plans for annexing more land, misused funds, personal vendettas. The board strips Karen of her presidency, the county locks my land as non-HOA forever, and her house goes up for sale in the dead of night. Does that end it? Not quite. She sues, stalks my land with drones, sends cronies to photograph my fence, and posts wild conspiracy theories online about goat barons and shadow cabals. But every stunt only unites the community further. People send me thank you notes, memes, even goat-shaped padlocks. When Karen tries one last scheme, pitching my land to developers, staging late-night sabotage, pushing the edge of the law, I just gather more evidence, hand it to Lena and the sheriff, and watch as a judge slaps a restraining order on her. Even then, she shows up once more in a black sedan, staring at my pasture like it's the last slice of cake at a county picnic. But she never gets out. Funny thing is, when it's finally over, what hits me hardest isn't triumph, it's the quiet. My phone stops buzzing, the gates stay closed, my goats return to their lazy routine. And when a group of kids from the subdivision comes by to feed the goats, their laughter replaces months of shouting and stress. The HOA issues an apology, the county changes its rules, and slowly, neighbors start waving again. Karen becomes a cautionary tale, a meme, a story told at barbecues when someone gets a little too pushy. But her power's gone, replaced by something real, a sense of boundary, respect, and hard-won peace. So, if there's anything you take away from this whole wild saga, let it be this. Boundaries matter. Not just fences and gates, but the invisible lines that protect your dignity and your peace of mind. Stand your ground. Sometimes it only takes a calm no and the nerve to lock the gate and let the truth do its work. Now, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? And have you ever tangled with a Karen in your own life? Smash that like button if you enjoyed the tale, and don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, when the gate closes, that's when the real drama begins.